Hey guys, Jay here, and today I'm going to show you how I turned a foam sword that I think was a Demon Slayer sword, I don't remember, into Soi Fon's sword from Bleach. So I've done this before with my Rimuru one back here, and it's the exact same process, it's just a different sword. So I'll show you the things that I did to this one, which is just repainting the handle, making a whole new guard, just like I did with the Rimuru one, and painting up and finishing this this part, the sheath, that thing. So showing you all of that. Also, I'm going to mention before the video begins, because I talk about it real quick at the very end, like the last sentence, but I did not paint the blade. For my Rimuru one, I painted it silver, but this one, she's going to have it on her back, and she has the gauntlet and claw weapon, so she's not going to use this at all. So we're not ever taking it out of the sheath. So I just didn't do that. But if you want to, just take some silver spray paint and spray paint it silver. But anyway, I'm going to show you what it takes to do this. I'm starting this off with the handguard, and to make the template, I first used the handguard that came with this sword to trace out that shape and the inner cutout for the blade to pass through. And then I folded the paper in half along the length of the inner cutout, and then again in the other direction so that the far ends of the inner cutout were evened up with each other, and then drew 1/4 of the shape, basically one of the corners, and then cut all of that out. Then I was able to trace it out onto 10mm EVA foam. When I cut this out, I cut the inner part out on the outside of the line because that's the size of the template. And I even had to trim it further, so it's better to test fit this before moving on to the next step, unlike me. And then I also cut out not on the line for the base shape itself. This way I can sand it down with a Dremel, and I just use a normal sanding drum that usually comes with any Dremel set. After sanding, the edges are still fuzzy, which is actually normal, so I have this bullet-shaped grinding stone that's super worn down, so it no longer removes any material. Instead, because it's worn down, it actually creates heat from the friction along the surface of the foam and cauterizes it, melting the foam's fuzziness down and smoothing out the edges. If you want one of these, just use one of these stones against something that's metal that you don't want anymore until it's worn down a lot. You can really feel when the stone is much smoother. To make the line detail on the guard, I noticed they are raised, so I used 2mm foam for this. For the templates, I just folded a piece of paper and then folded the template along that length line again. That way I could trace 1/2 of the handguard and make each of these details, but make it only half the details, and then when I cut them out and unfold them, it makes them symmetrical. I also made sure each of the lines were way longer than just to the edge of the template. They're supposed to wrap around, and the best way to do this is to make the top side do the wrapping and meet with the bottom. You'll see what I mean in a moment. So here, this is the bottom of the guard, the side that faces the handle, and you can see that the detail only goes up to the edges and is cut off there. However, on the top side here, the side that faces the blade, which is the side that'll be seen more often, you can see how they are longer and they'll wrap around and then be cut off on the other end to meet the other side. Also, I glued these on with contact cement, which, just so you know, you're going to want to wear a respirator for this stuff. Alright, now on to painting this piece. I took it outside and sprayed it with Plastidip and then brought it back in to finish it with brush-on acrylics. I started with a matte black base coat and then went over the main base layer with gold. After that was dry, I went over the line details with forest green. This was the closest color I had, but if you want to use something else, go ahead. I also needed to go over the size of these detailed pieces, which kind of overspilled onto the gold, so I just did touch-ups whenever needed. With that done, I move on to the handle. Well, actually, I did all of this out of order, but I'm putting it into sections like this to make it easier to follow. Anyway, in the animation and all the figures and stuff, they make her sword different colors, so we just decided to go with gold as the base color under the handle wrap. It changes between gold and a tan cream-like color in all the different scenes and stuff, and we thought gold looked best, so we just went with that. So I started by completely covering the entire handle in matte black as a base coat, and the wrapping on this sword is foam and part of the mold of this foam sword, so I can't remove it, so I just paint over everything. Then I paint over the smooth parts, that would be the main handle under the wrapping, with the same gold that I use on the handguard. In fact, this is the same bottle. This also took like 5 coats to get good coverage for some reason, and I have no idea why. And then once that was dry, I was able to go over the wrap. And I showed my friend a color choice I had on hand, and they said it was a good color that they were happy with, so I just used that. And it's called Classic Caramel by Apple Barrel. And this is actually a satin finish paint, so it's really annoying to go back over it. So if you can find something you like that's in a matte paint, you might want to just do that. It'll go on a lot easier. You can then go over both of these pieces with any clear coat finish you like. I personally like matte, but you can do whatever you want. The last piece to do is the most annoying, the sheath. This is the one thing I'm not as happy about, but nothing I can do now. Since the sheath is plastic, I have to sand it. If I don't, the paint won't stick. So I took 250 grit sandpaper and just sanded the entire thing down. If you can, wear a dust mask for this. I didn't realize how dusty this would get. So do yourself a favor and use one. And don't use a respirator like you would for the glue, because those aren't meant for dust. Even the cloth masks that we all made during the pandemic, those work just fine. Before I could go any further, I need to make the template for the yellow details. I'm using EVA foam, but you can paint them on if you want. It's up to you. I taped paper around it and just freehand draw the entirety of the bottom two details. One is a chevron shape on each side, literally like a military chevron or the gas station logo, as well as that weird arrow looking one. And then for the two stripes in the middle and top areas, I just cut out two strips that looked wide enough and then cut them down to length to wrap around. I didn't measure those at all. With the patterns done, I used masking tape to mask off where the yellow parts will go, since I need to glue the foam down. I took it outside, where I can't get my camera to go, and used gray automotive primer to let that dry overnight, and then cobalt blue spray paint. And while it was still drying, but tacky, I was able to carefully remove the masking tape. This way the paint didn't dry over the tape, so that removing the tape didn't accidentally peel it up. Like I said, I am using foam for the details. I just used some yellow foam that has the adhesive back on it, so I didn't have to paint it. Because the tip of sheaths really likes to get damaged for some reason, and paint chip all the time. So this stops that from being possible. I didn't even realize that it had the adhesive backing at first, but that means less glue I have to use. This stuff sticks really well to contact cement. So I only need to add the glue to the sheath. Just be careful if you do this to not get it on the paint. And then I can stick all of the pieces down. And this is actually where I wasn't too happy with it, because I wasn't able to do it perfectly, and you can kind of see where the paint stops, and you can see some white. So be careful about that. I also marked which pieces went on which side, because they are not symmetrical. I tried, it just didn't work out that way. The way I decided was, okay, so you know how the katana curves and the sheath curves in the exact same way? Okay, well, pretend the katana's in front of you, and it is handle up, tip down, and the sharp edge is pointing away from you, and the back of the blade is the butt or blunt end of the blade is pointed at you. Now pretend the sheath is on it. If you imagine it that way, the two sides are left and right. I hope that made sense. If it didn't, I'm sure you'll figure something out. And last, I covered the sheath with matte clear coat, and the entire thing is done. Again, I mentioned at the beginning, but if you want to paint the blade, just paint it with silver spray paint. We're never taking this out of the sheath, so it doesn't matter. Alright, so that is how I altered whatever that other sword was into Soi Fon's sword. So I will also mention one other thing that I didn't notice until later. I mentioned at the end of the video when I started doing the sheath that was the part I didn't like the most. And I learned there's even worse stuff on here. I don't know why, it's really hard to see, but there's a lot of areas where the paint like wrinkled up on itself, which it shouldn't have even had the ability to do, because the primer underneath that I put on top of it, I put on primer on top of the plastic, that didn't have that on it when I put the blue on it, but then now the blue has that on it, and it's like kind of all over the place, and it's really annoying. It's kind of hard to see, but like right here, it's really bad, and I can feel it really bad too. But yeah, I don't know what happened, so I don't know how to fix that. So if that happens to yours, I don't know what to do. I probably should have just painted it with an acrylic blue, because I did another Rimuru sword before I did that one that I didn't do a video on, and that's what the handguard from this one, I mentioned it in that video, that handguard is from the other sword that I had, but I showed you basically how to make it. But that one was a white one as well, where the entire sheath was white. And I painted that black, and it did that same thing, but it did it all over, and it had this giant section that was all wrinkly like that. And this wasn't in bad weather, like outside in the cold or something, or too hot. It was up here in the room I had an air conditioner on, but it was pointing upward, so that it just had air circulating through here, but it wasn't like freezing cold, and it wasn't like air going all over this thing. and this still did it. So I have no idea what causes that or why it's doing it. I've tried looking it up and I can't find an answer. So there's nothing I can do about that. I can't help you there. So if that happens to you, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to figure that out on your own. But anyway, that's gonna be the end of the video. Hope you like it. If you did, hit that thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys later.